The Scholastic Ball Report is sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and by Crown Trophy, Double Dogs, Mingy Beef Jerky, Prep Spin, P-Rats, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.
Hello, this is Gary Ball, and this is the Scholastic Ball Report. We've got a great show for you this week. We've got a feature from WKYT from around the state. William Warfield is in with the Crown Trophy Scholar Athlete of the Week. It's a great soccer player. The Roberts Insurance Team of the Week is the Sayre Spartans coach Chad Pennington, former New York Jetter. From Nicholasville, we have the Sutherland Chevrolet Drive of the Week. UK Sports Medicine and Healthcare, Rob Uller is in. Talk to us about common injuries. We know what you want, though. You want the best highlights in the state of Kentucky. It's game time here with Brian Milam and Lee K. Howard.
Now to high school football. The district landscape really starts to take shape after tonight. Only 2 weeks left in the regular season.
Douglas was playing tonight for the first time since the 24th of September because, well, they had 2 weeks off. They had a COVID game, and then they had the bye week. Here comes great crossing. They got the ball first, but they gave it right back. Gabe Nichols trying to convert, and Isaiah Kinney, excuse me. Shout out to Michael Board, by the way. Samuel Cornett looking downfield, and Dane Key coming up with a huge catch.
Amazing.
How about that? 7-0 Broncos. Later in that quarter, Broncos back in business. Devon Hart finds the far side, gets in for 6. Douglas wins big tonight, 38-7.
Somerset and LCA have arguably had the best gridiron rivalry over the last couple of years. The last 5 meetings decided by a touchdown or less. However, LCA is locked and loaded this year. The Jumpers are attempting a reload. Somerset on the road down 21-0 after 1. Starting the second quarter, Somerset is punting to a young man named Mason Moore, and we wouldn't be showing it if something big didn't happen.
It's going to be a touchdown, I'm just guessing.
Well, look at who bailed out. Who bailed out? Not me. Wait a minute, though. 48-yard touchdown. But there's laundry on the field, brings it all back. So the next play is Javante Emerson. And watch this big guy. Running like Jim Brown back in the day. Just trucking people for 28. Jeremiah Riffle going to make it look a little bit easier. Just going to stiff arm one guy a little bit. Hey, run over him, touchdown, no big deal. LCA makes it look easy. They run away with it. 63-13 the final.
Legendary Johnson Central head football coach Jim Matney has died. This man, an icon in Kentucky high school athletics, 2 state championships, one of just 12 coaches in the state with over 300 wins. A great coach, and as Dudley Hilton said earlier today, an even better man. He won 125 games at Sheldon Clark and 184 games at Johnson Central. This team's so fun to watch as they won state titles in 2016 and 2019. Here's Matney's famous speech before their November 2015 playoff game against Covington Holmes.
But it's a funny thing to me that every time anybody retires in a city, you know where they want to come live? They want to come live in the country. They want to get them a house up a hollow somewhere and live our life. And I'm glad to have them. We are who we are. We're boys from the mountains, from the hollows, from the small towns. Don't you let anybody come in here, especially from a big city, be able to walk out of here thinking that they're better people than you are.
Hey, welcome back to the Scholastic Ball Report. William Warfield here with you, and we got senior Emily Frame of the Lexington Catholic Knights. She's our Crown Trophy Scholar Athlete of the Week. And Emily, great season so far out there on the court. Talk to us about your season.
I think we've honestly come a long way. We normally don't have such an amazing record. I think this year we're just a really good team and we work really well together. I think we know how to pick each other up whenever we're down and just really come together when we need to come together. And although we had a tough loss today, I feel like we left it all on the court, especially for senior night. So honestly, I can't wait to see what we do in districts, and hopefully we can go to state.
Yeah, playoffs right around the corner. I know your team's excited to get that going. And, District 43, it's always, tough. As you know, you played a 42nd, opponent here tonight, a team that we've had on the Scholastic Ball Report already this season in Bryan Station. But you're doing some great work in the classroom. I mean, when you talk about your resume here, I mean, Beta Club, Service Club, V Crew, previously was a student ambassador, for the Latin Honor Society, and also being a part of the Dance Blue Public Relations Communications Committee. You were on the KHSA Academic All-State, and you were being selected, out there on the court as well as an All-State member as well on the All-State team. So, I mean, that's quite the resume there.
Yeah, I feel like I've just worked really hard, especially working up to this senior year. So I'm just hoping to keep going and hopefully be a part of more new things.
We of course, announced that earlier tonight for senior night. How was senior night for you tonight?
I think senior night was really fun. It was kind of how I expected it to be, just a lot of energy, and we knew Bryan Station would be a tough competitor, and I feel like we held our own, and I feel like if we would have just come out with a lot more energy in the second and third set, we would have had them.
Yeah. Talk to us about the importance of not only doing great out there on the court, but also in the classroom.
Honestly, you have to think about that beyond volleyball, there's what you want to do, so that's what I kind of try to think about. I'm wanting to play volleyball in college, but I also know that academics have to come first, so I kind of just put my academics first, and I think volleyball does allow me to push myself in the classroom because I know, like, oh, I have to get my homework done before I go to practice and just all this, so it really makes me a better student-athlete.
What would you tell the younger students that, are on the team that looked up to you, not only this season but in past years here? What would you say to them about working hard in the classroom?
I would say just always put it first. Don't, blow off a test because, oh, I have practice, oh, I have a game. Always put your academics first and then volleyball because volleyball isn't always going to be there.
All right. Emily Frame, the senior here, outstanding senior for Lexington Catholic High School. Congratulations, Emily, on a great season, and you're our Crown Trophy Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Thank you.
Hello, welcome back to the Roberts Insurance Team of the Week. Our Roberts Insurance Team of the Week, Sayre Spartans and Coach Chad Pennington. And Coach, welcome into the show.
Thank you for having us.
Coach, let's talk about this great season you're having so far. You're 6-1. You have one loss to the number one team in the state. You're ranked in the top 10. Did you expect this coming into the season?
Well, I knew we had a really good group of seniors who have been great leaders all 4 years as we started this program. But going in, we really didn't know how our young talent would come through for us. And so we've had some young talent come through and make big plays for us, really be able to solidify some spots that were certainly question marks as we moved into the season. So it's been a nice surprise for us.
What have been your goals for the season?
Our goals are relatively simple. First of all, it was to win the Bourbon Bowl, which we were able to do. Secondly, it was we wanted to capture a winning record on the road. I think you've got to be a good road team in order to be a good playoff team. So we wanted to have a winning record on the road. Third, we want to win all of our home games. And fourth goal was to capture a first-round home playoff game, which means that you finish first or second in your district. I thought those four goals were certainly realistic for us and ones that we could get accomplished.
Coach, you brought two outstanding players with you. Introduce those players to us and what position they play.
On my left here, I have Jackson Marshall. He plays just about any position we ask him to, whether it be running back, wide receiver, linebacker is a great specialist as well. He's just a Swiss Army knife for our team and for our program. He's done an excellent job with his leadership. And then on my right is my son, Cole Pennington, who plays quarterback and free safety. Both on the show because they have been the cornerstone of our program as far as leadership, leading by example, leading with their voices as well, and just really setting the tone, the attitude, and the tempo for all four classes.
Jackson Marshall, number 8. I remember that number well because you're a very good player. And Jackson, let's talk about that season. Have you lived up to your expectations?
You know, it's hard to have any expectations going into the season. You really just want to perform the best you can, and I would say the record shows 6-1. You can't be mad at that. I think just we got to keep our head down and keep working, and not lose focus on what's ahead of us.
Do you like defense or offense?
I would say, I used to say offense for sure, and I still love offense. But this year, I'm definitely molding more into loving defense for sure.
Like to hit people, right?
So,
Cole Pennington, 14 touchdowns this year, 1 interception. I think that's a big stat for you. 14-1, that's a really good ratio.
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. One of my goals this season was to limit any unnecessary turnovers when the ball is in my hands. So just definitely been working on that and ball security.
Well, you're playing safety. You've got a number of interceptions. You know how important that is. How has that helped you this year?
I think it's helped a lot. Our secondary as a whole, and we were leading the state in total interceptions at one point. I don't know if we still are or not, but that's definitely been one of the big things on defense is we've been able to take the ball away from teams, and we pride ourselves on that. So every day in secondary, we've been working on that and being ball hawks on the field.
Coach Pennington, as a former New York Jet, you've seen it all at the professional level, at Marshall at the collegiate level. Your son Cole's going to Marshall, your college team. Kind of tell us about coaching now at the high school level and how easy or difficult that's been for you as a former NFL player.
I've always had a desire that if I ever went into any type of coaching, I felt like high school would be the right level for me to where I could really help a young man set his foundation for the next chapter of his life after high school. And that's what I really enjoy is using the game as a life skills learning tool for them, where there's so many life skills and life lessons that can be learned within the game of football, and I'm using the game of football to do that. We love the competitive part, but most importantly, I love helping these young men develop.
Cole, I got to ask you, what's a dinner table like for you with your dad being a coach and your brother being a younger freshman and a quarterback just like you?
So yeah, we definitely have a lot of conversations at home about just practices, how the day went. But we also know when to turn that football switch off. And at home on the field he's dad, but at home on the field he's coach. At home he's dad. So we turn that football switch off. We try to just to make sure our whole lives are around that, especially during the season.
And Jackson Marshall, you've been an outstanding player this year, offense and defense. I've enjoyed watching you. Also, you're great catching the ball in the backfield from Mr. Pennington.
Yes, sir. It's been a pleasure to have such a great quarterback. Every time I go out there, I know he'll get the ball where it needs to be. So I'm blessed.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us on the Scholastic Ball Report. We appreciate you. We'll see you out there this week on Prep Spin. That's Chad Pennington, the coach of Sayre High School, and this is Robert's Insurance Team of the Week. We'll be back with more on the Scholastic Ball Report. We have Rob Oler with us. Rob is Director of Outreach for the UK Sports Medicine Orthopedic Surgery. Welcome to the Scholastic Ball Report, Rob.
Thanks, Gary. We're glad to be a part of it.
We're talking about common injuries in high school sports like sprains. What is the most common injury in athletics?
So, Gary, it's really amazing that the most common injury that people really don't think of are ankle sprains. And most people think of other different parts of the body it gets injured most, but probably 60% of high school injuries occur in the ankle.
What is an ankle sprain?
So an ankle sprain is a stretching of the ligaments in the ankle. There are many different ligaments that are in the ankle that can be stretched, pulled, or torn. 3 different types of ankle injuries would include an inversion ankle sprain where the ankle goes in. That's the most common injury that can occur. That would be the stretching of those ligaments or the tearing of those ligaments. The one injury that you hear a lot about is that high ankle sprain, and that's the ligament that's higher up, and that's the one that can cause a lot of problems for athletes to come back from, because if you think about it, when an athlete pushes off, and all athletes do, that's what that ankle injury prevents, is you have the ability to push off, and that's why it takes time to get better. It takes 4 to 6 weeks sometimes for that high ankle sprain to get better. The media or anybody else says, oh, it's just an ankle sprain, but you won't really ask if it's a high or a low, and if it's a high ankle sprain, that's really going to increase the amount of time that they're going to be out.
What can you do in rehab at home to maybe help this?
So the best thing to do is prevention, and the best prevention is strengthening the muscles around that. You really can't strengthen ligaments, but strengthening the muscles that surround the ankle to protect those ligaments that are in that ankle joint. Working on balance. I like having athletes stand on one foot with their eyes closed to increase their balance. The best exercise that athletes can do is jumping rope, things that we used to do in elementary school that people don't think about. Jumping rope on one foot for 30 seconds really promotes ankle strengthening and ankle stability that most people don't think about. Basketball teams, football teams, soccer teams, everybody out there can strengthen your ankles a minute and a half a day just by jumping rope on one foot, and that's probably the best thing you can do.
Well, we see a lot of boxers who jump rope, don't we?
Exactly, and the reason they do that is it increases their foot speed and increases their balance, and that's what all athletes need, is that increasing that balance, because once you become unbalanced, that's when injuries occur. I mean, you see that in all sports when they cut and they twist and they're out of balance. That's when they're going to hurt their ankle or their knee or whatever else. So that's why like you said, boxers jump rope a lot, and that increases their balance.
Well, thank you for all that great information, Rob. It's always good to talk to you.
Thanks, Gary. It's great helping you guys out and being a part of the team.
Thank you very much, Rob. That's Rob Oliver from UK Sports Medicine, keeping us in the game with UK Sports Medicine. And we'll be right back with more on the Scholastic Ball Report.
GRC gave Bryan Station all they wanted last week, and this Friday the Redbirds seeing if they could corral the Madison Central Indians. Central has won 6 straight. Second quarter, Hagan Harrison. Boy, he has been a big shot in the arm to this ball club.
Which way is he going?
He's going that way. And he pitches to Brady Hensley. Tight ropes the far sideline. 34 yards on the gain, still in the second. Basically, hey, it's the same play. Hagan Harrison gonna finally give it off to Hensley. There's a lot of H's there. Hagan, Harrison, Hensley, 33-yard touchdown.
So well with it, though.
Triple H. Hensley again, running like his pop did back at EKU in the day. 23-0 Central. Boy, they just keep on rolling. 43-7 your final.
Hopefully Hensley was on your fantasy football team tonight. Bryan Station welcoming the Oldham County Colonels. Late third quarter, Oldham County down 3 touchdowns, looking to close that gap. Sam Young finds a wide open Jackson Elkins for the touchdown. Bryan Station was still up 35-21. Next station drive, Damon Green dragging people like Brian to a buffet down the field.
I don't drag
that was a low blow, I guess. Yeah, good for a first down. Later in the drive,
Appreciate
Joseph Bond finishes off the touchdown with a little help from his friend right there.
Joe Cocker? Come on.
Station improves to 7-1, 42-21 the final there.
Well, that's our show for this week. Join us next week for another exciting show highlighting high school athletes and their accomplishments. As always, special thanks to our Scholastic Ball Report team. Prep Spin King of Stream, William Warfield, Joel Clace, our director, and our creator, Gary Ball. And remember, for those you see and those you don't see, you keep your eye on the Scholastic Ball Report.
The Scholastic Ball Report was sponsored by UK Sports Medicine and by Crown Trophy, Double Dogs, Mingy Beef Jerky, Prep Spin, P-Rats, Rafferty's, Roberts Insurance, Sutherland Chevrolet, and by Whitaker Bank.